The European Commission predicts unemployment in the bloc will drop to under 12% by the year 2015. While October's data shows some promise, some analysts aren't as optimistic as the Commission. For a look behind the figures, I spoke with David Lizoain, an economist for the Socialist group at Parliament of Catalonia.
It's true that we have some good news. The unemployment fell 0.3%. But of the 178 months since the euro has been in existence, this is the second worst month we've had. So in absolute terms, we're pretty poorly off. Now, the European Commission predicted that unemployment would be falling in 2015, which, as you point out, is 2 years away. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the European Commission has also predicted in 2010, 2011, and 2012 that unemployment would fall within 2 years, and it's continued to rise. So right now we have a panorama. We're at basically the worst level of unemployment in the history of the Eurozone, and a prediction that the years 2013, 14, and 15 will be the worst years in terms of unemployment in the history of the Eurozone. So,
David, I'd love to pick up on that, because you talk about the future being really bad. And if you look at the number of young people that are unemployed, it seems to really magnify the problem, because if you have a lot of young people, it builds frustration. It can often spill over into the streets. What's the danger about having unemployment in areas, Spain, France, Greece, that could reach 30, 40, even 50%?
It's a symptom that our societies are not working, that the way our labor markets and our economies are structured don't make any sense, because why would you have, they say, the most educated generation in history unable to find work? It's basically a huge waste from a social point of view, and obviously this has led to huge amounts of frustration, and generally a generation whose life chances has been, has basically plans of life has been stopped in its tracks. And as you point out, one of the consequences of this is you see a lot of people emigrating, which is partly positive in the sense of this means that we're in Europe and you can seek opportunity. There's also negative because there's a huge social cost in terms of families that are torn asunder, and people that are leaving not because they would like to, but because they feel they have to.
The CEO of General Electric in Europe basically says, look, we have to stop thinking in terms of nationalistic pride. If the European Commission is going to work the way it was outlined, what's wrong with someone who can't find a job in Spain, Greece, or France, looking to the UK or looking to Germany to go over there? It seems like that could be the boost that Europe needs to drag itself out of these doldrums.
Well, I would respond to the CEO of General Electric that it's sort of like telling his secretary, don't worry about your low pay, because between the two of us, on average, we're doing very well. I think it's still important to take into account the distribution, but it is true that labor migration is a useful way of smoothing out imbalances between labor markets, and it's something that happens especially in the United States, where people in regions in crisis then emigrate to regions that are better off. The big difference between the United States and Europe is that in the United States everyone speaks the same language, and also there exist mechanisms of solidarity between regions that are currently non-existent in Europe.
If you look at China's economy, it grew by 15% in October. The U.S. showing tepid growth, Japan showing tepid growth. How does that impact Europe? The fact that much of the other areas of the world are showing growth, is that good news or bad news?
Well, I think we should consider it good news for sure. I mean, that things are doing well. That means that there's more demand generated in these markets, and therefore there's more of a market for European products. Basically, all signs are pointing to with the current policies that are being pursued in Europe, European politicians are looking for an export-led recovery. So in this sense, a booming China is good news. It would be good news for Japan to be booming. It would be good news for India to be booming. It would be good news for the United States to be booming. Basically, the better your trading partners are doing, the better it is for you. Now, that having been said, the problem is that in Europe, we're seemingly not focused on boosting our own internal demand and waiting for someone else to come and fix the situation for us.